going on? This is your boy, The Sound of the Rain. I want to welcome you to another episode of The Sound of the Rain podcast. This is episode 13 of the show. Yes, we have made it to 13 episodes, and the title of today's episode is It Takes Money to Make Money. But before we get into the topic, I just want to once again to say thank you to everybody that has been tuning in. Whether you're new, whether you're old, I definitely do appreciate you supporting the show. All I Know, my song inspired by John Wick Chapter 4, is available on all streaming platforms. I'm also available on YouTube. I really enjoy the song, have gotten some great feedback that's kind of helped me going forward with, how I'm going to kind of make my music. But yeah, if you haven't heard it, definitely check it out. I'm going to put the link into the show notes for the song. And I want to go into the stats for Apple and for Spotify. I'm going to kind of try to make this more of a recurring thing every week, since I'm especially, kind of looking at them a little more now. So for Apple, we've gotten 33 plays. This is for the last 7 days. 33 plays. One average daily listener is one. One song purchase and one Shazam. Ironically, that Shazam's not talking about the movie. It's like a service that Apple has to where I don't even know if it's exclusive to Apple, but Shazam is like say you hear a song playing, you open up Shazam, or you even hum or sing a song, and Shazam will listen to it or listen to you, and it will tell you what the song is. I actually did that the other week. I was listening to the radio and a song came on and I thought it was good, and so I opened up Shazam and it told me what the song was, and so I added it to my library. So that's pretty cool. Milestones that we've hit on Apple Music. As of the 22nd of March, Good Guy has hit 100 all-time plays. So that's awesome. Good Guy is one of my favorite songs that I've done. To me, it's almost the epitome of Sound of the Rain. It's got kind of a boom bap beat, and I'm just like spitting a bunch of rhymes with a lot of like geek and nerd related, punchlines and similes and metaphors and stuff like that. So if you haven't heard Good Guy, definitely give that a check out. Check that out. I'll put a link to that in the show notes as well. So the top cities for the past 7 days for Apple Music, 27 in Fayetteville, North Carolina, 5 in Charlotte, North Carolina, and 1 in Modesto, California. The top played songs were All I Know, which was my new release, the John Wick inspired song with 10 plays. Number 2 was Fury, my Shazam inspired song with 7 plays, which is also available. Number 3 was Master Flow, my Ken from Street Fighter inspired song, which got 4 plays. Good Guy got 2 plays. I Need a Little Help was number 5, which is a song I did inspired by Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, got 2 plays. The top Shazam songs were Fury. So somebody used Shazam to recognize that song. So that, ironically, the song is from Shazam. So that's pretty cool. Okay, and so let's check for Spotify. The number 1 song was All I Know with 30 streams and 6 listeners and 4 saves. So save is when somebody saves it to their library, which kind of gives you the idea or hint that they plan on listening to it again. So All I Need was number 2 with 21. Not All I Need. I Need a Little Help, inspired by Ant-Man, had 21 streams and 4 listeners. Fury had 7 streams, 6 listeners. Warlord had 6 streams and 3 listeners. I actually think I was one of those. My Plea, which was number 5, had 4 streams and 3 listeners, so the listeners went up for that one. Good Guy had 3 streams and 3 listeners. Listeners went up. This Beats Whack had 3 streams, 3 listeners. The listeners went down for that one. Backup had 3 streams, 3 listeners. What You Know About That had 2 streams, 2 listeners. Who's the Man had 2 streams, 2 listeners. Lovely had 2 streams, 2 listeners. How We Roll, 2 streams, 2 listeners. The Prelude, 2 streams, 1 listener. Master Flow, 1 listener and 1 stream. And The Calm had 1 stream and 1 listener. That's a rundown of everything for the past week. Once again, any and everyone that's listened to my music, I definitely want to thank you. I definitely appreciate your support, your continued support. Speaking of support, I really want to give a special shout out to my wife. You know, she gave me a nice pep talk today to where I was really kind of feeling defeated. In a sense, you know, you guys might hear the music and see the videos go up and stuff like that, but you have no idea how much work goes into this, you know, and sometimes the return is a lot of times the return feels like zero, you know. So when you put so much work into it and you don't really see the feedback or the results that you're looking to get to, or sometimes you're anxious or impatient, you know, waiting for your big break or something like that, sometimes you can just get fatigue. And that's especially what I've been experiencing, I'd say with the last day or two, you know. And so I talked to my wife, you know, earlier. I was just letting her know that I just felt kind of depressed today. And she just really gave me a good talk to put a lot of things into perspective and kind of just broke it down in a plan, in a way that I can really just look at things differently, you know. And so instead of the glass being half empty, I looked at it as half full, you know. And so it really gave me the motivation and the inspiration I need to kind of push on. So I definitely want to tell her thank you for that. So the next release that's coming up scheduled for the 31st of March is Just Rap Spitter's Anthem. And the only hold up on that is the mixing. For those that ain't familiar with mixing, when you listen to a song and you hear the volume and you hear how the instruments and the vocal sound, and sometimes you hear a sound only in the left ear or more in the right ear, or it might switch up, like all those things encompass the process of mixing. And so right now the mixing with this particular song is taking a little longer than anticipated. The majority of it has been done, but it's just not, for me, it's like the drums aren't really hitting the way that I want them to. And I'm getting fatigued and tired of it to the point where I almost don't even care, and I just want to put the song out, you know. And especially because if you saw a post, well, most of y'all probably don't follow me on my personal Facebook page. I tend to put a lot of posts on there as well. But what I was essentially saying on there was that there was some feedback that I had gotten from the homie Nick Adams, in passing, author Nick Adams, hashtag Project Xanthia, as far as his expectations of my material. And even looking at my streaming numbers, for the all-time streams, the highest streamed songs I had were Warlord and Good Guy, which are 2 songs where I'm kind of just rapping hardcore over some hard-hitting beats. And so I'm possibly anticipating, okay, is this what people want to hear from me more? And so sometimes it can be frustrating creatively when people, not when they want to pigeonhole you, but for me, I have a very eclectic taste in music, and my mind is everywhere, and I just have all these thoughts and ideas. So sometimes I have to be in a mood to create certain type of songs. But if I'm trying to make content for an audience, I have to realize that that's who I'm making music for, and if that's what they want to hear, then that's what I need to make. Yeah, I still have the opportunity to experiment and create things as I would like to, but I think it's very important to feed my supporters and feed my audience. So what I shared in that Facebook post was that after my release schedule that I put up, which included Just Rap, Spitter's Anthem, Pipe Down, which is my song inspired by the Super Mario Brothers movie, and Rise, which is a song I want to do for Easter. Keep in mind, Rise and Pipe Down, I haven't even written those yet, but I have been working on the beats for them. So after I do all of those songs, I'm refocusing my approach, and so since I've made that decision, anything else that I do, it's kind of like I'm almost mentally like rushing through it so I can get to the new stuff, because I love creating and writing new stuff, and I'm kind of anticipating, what kind of new music I'm gonna make. Y'all might hear a song and I've been listening to it for the past month, trying to get it nailed down, but to y'all it's brand new. So, that's kind of how it goes right there when I was talking about fatigue and stuff like that. So there's a small possibility that Pipe and Rise might not come out. When I made the schedule, like I said, they weren't even written. And I hadn't even started working on Rise. It were just ideas that I had, and the dates were so close together. Excellent ideas, very ambitious, but there's so many other things that I've been working on. And I'm a one-man army. Anything you see or hear from me, it comes from me. I do it all myself. And so I recently have been working on some things like related to the website or social media, and it's just a lot. So I kind of have to set some realistic expectations for myself. Maybe say 2 songs a month or 3 songs a month, and actually stick to that. So just stay tuned. Follow me on my social medias. Everything's at Sound of the Rain, to keep you posted on, what will be dropping and what will be not, if there's any changes in schedules or anything like that. I do have a collaboration coming up with a homie out of California named Kodiak. And I'm really excited about that one, man. If he's listening to this, shout out to the homie. He sent something to me. We had talked about working together like a while back, and he sent me something the other day, and I was just like really, really blown away with the way that it sounded, and so it just, it was fun writing and recording and collaborating, and we chopped it up quite a bit, man. He's really kind of shared a lot of knowledge and wealth with me in regards to just the whole recording and mixing and mastering process. And it was kind of humbling, because you see kind of where you want to be and the growth you need to make and the places and the areas that you need to step it up in. And so I'm going to kind of touch back on this as I talk about the topic for today. But, shout out to the homie. Y'all look out for that soon. I'll keep y'all posted whenever the song does drop or releases. So, the topic of today, it takes money to make money. So recently, I've come to the conclusion and started to understand that to grow from where I'm at right now is going to start to require money. And what I mean by that is, back in the day, you used to be able to, hand your CDs out to people and, kind of perform and do things like that. And, performing is still a thing people do. It's not something I've done in decades, so I haven't quite reached that point yet. But as far as networking, I kind of do the whole pass people my CDs thing by spamming them with my my links to my music on Twitter, so outside of that, there's advertising that you can do. And I kind of had to realize that if the people that I share my music with aren't sharing it to other people, like my reach is not going to go very far. There might be one person here and one person there. If I'm not doing shows and a lot of people aren't hearing about me, it's really hard to grow. So what I did was, with All I Know, is I did an ad campaign with Google, and that costs money. And so what it is that you essentially sign up for a campaign and you tell them a budget that you have. And so what they do is, based on the budget that you provide, your YouTube video will be advertised and shown as an ad to different people, and YouTube will essentially push it because you're paying them to. And so based on how much you pay, The more you pay, the more people will see it, obviously. But they guarantee you, or kind of give you an estimate of, what kind of views you can expect. So currently, right now, all I know is sitting at 648 views with 7.5 hours of watch time, meaning that the accumulated total of time that people watch it equaled out 7.5 hours, and I gained 2 subscribers. So 2 people subscribed to my channel from seeing that video. So that's something. That's one thing that I really appreciate, is that I have 2 people on my channel that are looking for more content from me. So that's cool. But of all those views that I named, 35.8% of them came from advertising. And so that was 231 views. So what I did was I gave YouTube a budget. It was like 3 days. It was just over the weekend, and then it ended yesterday. And I gave them $5 was my budget for the time frames. And so I think the total I paid was like $15 and some change. And so I essentially got 231 views for that amount of money. Now here's the thing, also in the analytics that you use or can view within YouTube, you can see the amount of time that people spend on a song. Now, today's day and age and society is such a microwave, give it to me now, culture, get to the point. 36% of viewers were still watching my video or listening to my song around the 30-second mark. Now, if you look at the graph that I'm looking at, as I look at it, it's like as soon as some people hit play, they just dip or they bounce, right? And so the song has a build up to it. You hear the Bowery King say, "You ready, John?" And then you hear the gun cocking. So it takes a little bit of time for me to get to rapping. Then there's no hard beat drop, and that's some feedback that I had gotten. It's like people were waiting to hear just like a boom. But I purposely did it the way that I did because I wanted to have this kind of serene, thought-provoking, thoughtful mind frame, like you were in the mind of John Wick, and he was just thinking about the things that are said in the chorus. All I want is rest. All I know is vengeance. All I know is death. Stuff like that. So it's just really kind of it's like silent chaos was kind of what was going through my head, and I really wanted people to focus on the lyrics, and so it didn't resonate with the majority of people. I'm not saying that people didn't like it. I love the song, but it ain't just about me, and everybody's different, and so that one song that you think might not click with people might be the one to blow up. So I'm gonna put out everything, just like I almost don't feel like putting out just rap, Spitter's Anthem, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyway. So that was the deal with the John Wick song. So I think that if it was a song that had possibly a different energy and a different vibe, it might have, in addition to those views that I got from it being advertised on YouTube, I could have gotten more subscriptions. My watch time for it could have been higher, because on YouTube, it's not just about people clicking on your video and watching it, but it's the amount of time that they spend watching it. And so, as a creator, you're able to see the graph and the numbers, as that goes up or as that goes down, and so it changes your approach to song making. It's almost like, okay, you got 30 seconds to pull me in and you better keep me. Seriously. And so what does that say for the song that's supposed to build people in or build up and pull people in? Then also you have to keep in mind a song with a visual. If I had like a visual with scenes from John Wick or maybe a video of me rapping, that probably would have kept people there longer. It would have resonated with them more. But that's more work that I have to do. And I'm only a one-man band, and so maybe what I can do is like one release a month. I can include like a real visual with it. It's just that when I'm doing songs about movies, a lot of times these companies will, and can strike stuff for copyright. I didn't run into that issue with the Ant-Man song, but I had gotten a heads up about Shazam, about Warner Brothers doing that to their stuff. And so I didn't even try to attempt to make a visual for that because I figured it would have gotten out. So that's the deal. And so it costs money to do advertisements. And so with me being a husband and me being a father and working for my family, the money that I make through Sound of the Rain is going to be poured back into Sound of the Rain. So I say that to say that the support from people that really do enjoy what I do is very important. And if you can't, and trust me, I understand, if you're not able to support financially, sharing it, spreading the news about word of mouth, leaving a thumbs up, leaving a comment, those types of things are always appreciated. I never want to downplay those in any facet. But like I was talking about even earlier when I spoke with Kodiak about my music, I recorded my vocals on my end and sent them to him, and I just wanted to get his feedback as far as how did the mixing and the mastering sound, because or the mixing rather, because he's more experienced in that field than I am. He gave me some feedback, and it's essentially, I need to get new equipment. I think what I have does good for good enough for what it does to kind of get the point across of what it sounds like, but with better equipment, I can do more professional sounding material, and I can do more stuff to where I would be able to especially feel comfortable charging people for working with me, or charging people for features, or making jingles and songs for companies and stuff like that. I want to be, if I'm going to charge for somebody for something, I want to give them grade A quality, So that's something that's going to cost money. And so kind of segueing into that is that I actually started a Patreon for my podcast. And so if you don't know what Patreon is, it's essentially like it's a service or a company that allows creators to provide subscriptions for their users and community. And so what it is you can say I have like different tiers of support. You might pay $5, $10, or $15. But with the different support tiers, you get different things. You might get bonus episodes. You might get like things where I'll make like personal songs for you, where you can ask me questions. And with that money that's provided, those are things that content creators can pour further into their business. And so what I've done is I've created a Patreon, and right now I only have one tier, and it's only $5 a month. And y'all let me know. I'm gonna leave for the Spotify users, I'm gonna leave a poll or a questionnaire to where you can give me feedback. Is $5 too much? Should it be $1? And what you get with that subscription is anyone who's subscribed to that, they'll get a shout out on every episode. So I'll verbally shout their name out. Like right now, well, it doesn't exist anymore because I made a boo-boo on my Spotify settings, but John Lowry and Renee Parker have been supporting the show for about 2 or 3 months, and I definitely really appreciate their support. And so if you were to be part of that tier on Patreon, every month I would say your name and give you a shout out and leave your name in the show credits notes and stuff like that. So that's just a way that I can start to provide something for you for supporting me. I'm definitely looking into some things that I can do on a consistent basis to provide value for people want to subscribe. But let me know, is $5 too much? Should I move it down to $1? If I did move it to $1, would you subscribe? Would you subscribe for $5? Definitely let me know. Provide me some feedback. Yeah, I think on that note, we're gonna wrap it up. I definitely want to say thank you for everybody tuning in. Make sure that you do Check out All I Know. It's available now on streaming services. Check out my Patreon. It's Patreon. It's patreon.com/Sound of the Rain. Patreon.com/Sound of the Rain. Check me out on all socials at Sound of the Rain. Once again, thank you for tuning in. Peace.